So again, Muslims, please, Muslims request.
So somebody says they have a Muslim with them.
Hey, Travis.
Sahih Shaitan.
I'll go down, but I have a question to ask Travis.
Oh
Travis,
yeah, I'm on it, bro. I'm gonna send it to you. I'll send
yeah. Okay, I sent you a message. I appreciate that. All right, thank you.
God bless, friend.
All right, take care.
All right.
Hi, James. Hi, Travis. Hi, boys. God bless everyone.
Hey, bro.
God bless. I'm with. Stop. So I'm with a Muslim girl, right? And she doesn't believe me that child marriage is accepted in Islam, the Quran. Can I get someone?
Can you ask her what school?
Can she talk while you chat eating? Is she there?
Can you talk?
No.
She doesn't want to talk, but she wants to see it from like proof.
Sure, friend. Can you ask her? Does she know about like the four schools of Sharia, like Shafi, Hanbali, Hanafi, Maliki?
She was Christian. She was Catholic.
I was atheist.
So, your mother is Catholic, but she became a Shia.
Oh, okay. She's Shia. Yeah. So
we can go straight to the Quran and see what the Quran says. Let's go straight to the Quran before we start taking it anywhere else.
All right.
So James, I'm going to load up some Shia sources that say like you can use an infant's hand to gratify yourself.
Yeah. So I just want to insist. Listen, I know that you chose the wrong path.
Yeah.
Say again.
No, go ahead, James.
Now this is important, right? Because we go first to the Quran before we start showing anywhere else. We'll see what the Quran says. Right. So I'm in the Quran now. Mm-hmm. Okay. And we're in verse 65:4.
Oh, there it is, 65:4. I was right. There you go.
Right. Now, say again.
No, I was showing her from the book. I couldn't find it. I was on 65:4.
Okay, but let's see what it says. Now, 65:4, it's talking about three different groups of women that have been penetrated by their husbands, right? Because there's a verse in 33:49 that says, if the man doesn't touch the woman, then there's no waiting period. There's no iddah.
All right,
just
James,
to make sure she's not pregnant.
James, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to guide her to the back to the truth.
You guys.
So
well, this is the way to do it, sis, is to actually read the Quran, because when you read the Quran, you have to say this to yourself, right? If you read this verse and you listen to the scholars and the explanation on this verse, then you would realize that to be a Muslim means that you have to accept that prepubescent little girls can be married and penetrated, just like what Muhammad did to Aisha. They can be married, penetrated, and divorced. And to be a Muslim means you accept this as truth, and you can't turn your back on it for all time. So then you read the verse.
I'll leave it with you guys, and I'm not forcing her, but I want her to come back to the truth.
Well, this is why we do this. Day before yesterday, a woman that also left Christianity, went to Islam. She stuck with us for a week or two. She left Islam because she can't be bothered. Okay, so you there, sis?
Hi.
Hiya. So I'm going to read for you from the Quran, right? This verse is going to talk about three different groups of women. One in menopause, one that are too young, and one that is pregnant. And we're talking about divorce, right? The verse is called talaq, the divorce. So this is what you must do in case of a divorce. It means you have to have a waiting period. See the girl in the chat below there? CLODAGH. She just left Islam 2 days ago, because she as well went to Islam thinking it was all lovely jubbly and super duper, but then she found out that it's not, because when you read the Quran, you have to leave Islam. Watch this now. Three groups of women. It says, as for your woman who despair of menstruation. So this is talking about the elderly woman. These are menopause, that have despaired of further menstruating. If in doubt, their waiting period, this is the iddah, shall be 3 months. Again, to make sure that they're not pregnant before they remarry. And then the next group of people. And those who have not menstruated as yet. The third group are those who are with child. Now we're going to focus on those who have not menstruated as yet. So my sister, what group of people have not yet menstruated?
Where can I find this in my Bible right here?
They're showing it to you now.
It's in the Quran, it's not in the Bible.
You don't have a Bible, and
Show me in my Quran here on the bed that it's in there.
okay. Which
Go to
verse in
verse
her
65.
Quran book? You can talk to him. Yeah,
No, I don't want to talk.
talk.
You guys are not going
You
to
can just listen. It's okay. Go open the Quran to her, Quran, to 65.
She's got two books here.
After this, I'll show her how her husband can beat her by the will of Allah.
Yeah, that's 34,
434, where a man can beat his wife because he fears she was disobedient. So let's focus on this now. So go to the Quran, find it for her, 65:4, talaq.
James, can I open my camera? I'm just going to show you. She's got two books here. You and Travis should know, but you can just look at the book and tell me what number on what book. See, no one's gonna see you. But I'm gonna change the camera.
We don't need to see you, sis. Don't have to be in the camera. It's nothing to do with us wanting to see you or anything.
Hold on.
While you doing that, I just want to read to her from what the scholars have said. Oh, there we go. Yep.
Those are her two books.
Beautiful. So all you got to do is just open it to 65:4.
So which one? On both of them or one of them? Or the grey?
They all say the same
So
thing.
it'll be on both of them. So
I
we
know
were
both of them.
65 probably.
Yeah.
They can't see you. Go here, 65:4. Pull it up on the Quran.
I don't want
pull
to
up
show
on
my
both
hand.
of them. On both of them, and we'll see if they say the same thing. Because the English translation does change every now and then.
$65.4. That's all right. So is it page 65?
No. The chapter is called talaq. The chapter is called divorce.
James, brother in the chat, Kristen Sheikh, Ronnie, he says that it's on page 559 in the book she has in the clear Quran by Mustafa Khitab.
559.
559.
I think that's in the clear Quran, the other book, the golden one. I think that's the one he's talking about.
Oh, in the golden one.
No, this one only goes
Yeah.
up to 380.
The golden one, the little one, only goes to 380.
Okay, well then it must be in the other one then.
Okay, that's 559 there.
Yeah, it's the specific place is chapter 65. So if you don't see it, you may need to go to the table of contents. Chapter 65, and the verse is the fourth verse.
I don't know. This is your book, not my book.
Just tell me what you see on the screen and we can tell you which way, because remember the Quran goes the opposite way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what chapter are you on now?
Surah 68.
You're at 68. Yeah, you want to go three back. Yeah, keep going to the right hand side. The other way. No, the other way.
We're on 67.
He's saying other way.
Yeah, go to 65.
Yeah, so it's that way.
No, James, this one's in English, so it'll read just like an English book.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so just go to chapter 65, and then it's going to be the fourth verse.
She doesn't know full on. Like, she doesn't know full on.
That's okay. It's okay.
No, it's okay. Yes, it's fine.
Yeah.
You must remember we are learning, and sometimes we make mistakes, but the important thing is that we rectify the mistakes and know whose salvation comes through. So 65:4.
But do you know what page will be on this one?
No, mate.
I don't know.
You're almost there. You're on 67. There's just 3 chapters to go.
No, we're on 65, right?
65.
Okay, beautiful. So let me just see now. So go to 4. So let me see. Prophet.
Oh, yeah. Found it. Is that
Beautiful.
it?
Yeah. So read that for me, please.
Okay,
Yeah, there we
read
go.
it
That's
out.
it.
No, because you're...
I am not
No,
reading
you're the
anything.
Muslim. I'm not Muslim.
It's
I'm
okay,
Christian.
brother. Let you read. Don't force her. Just you read. It's okay.
Yeah. Just read it out. They don't know who you are. Just read it out.
You can read it. Don't force her, dude. It's okay. As long as she sees it eventually, she'll see the truth eventually. All she has to do is just open her heart. Tell you what, the truth is right there.
You know, I have a very big heart, and like someone trying to force this upon me, it's not going down real well.
Well, that's what we're doing. We're not forcing it. We just want you to read. That's it. So I'll read it for you. I mean, I've read it for you. You tell me if it says the same thing in your book, because the book is talking about 3 different women, 2 old, 2 young, and pregnant, and it's talking about the young that have not reached the years of menstruation. It says that even though they haven't reached the years of menstruation, just to be sure, let them wait 3 months before they remarry. Right? Now, sis, have you heard of a word called tafsir?
No.
So a tafsir is an explanation of the verses. So I'm going to show you something. I'm going to put my screen back on. So it's all going to be on my screen now. So I'm in the Quran right now, and I'm in on the same chapter, same verse. Now there's a tafsir, is an explanation to the verses. Have you heard of a guy called Ibn Abbas?
No.
So he is the cousin and a companion of Muhammad, right? So all I want you to do is see how they explain these verses. Now I'm going to show you different scholars and what they say about the verses. So this is called Ibn Abbas, the cousin of Muhammad. It says, as for such of your women who despair of menstruation, and then if you look at my screen, because of old age. So he's telling you what the first group I'm speaking about. If you in doubt about their waiting period, their period shall be 3 months. That's the iddah, the waiting period. Upon which another man asked, O Messenger of Allah, what about the waiting period for those who do not have menstruation because they are too young, along with those who do not have it because of young age? So they explaining, say again?
How can it not be like that in the book and it's there?
Well, without this tafsir, you have no knowledge of this Quran.
So when you read the Quran, this is my whole topic, is the Quran a clear book? The reason that it's a sarcastic topic, because you need to go out of the Quran to understand the Quran, because the Quran says something, but Muslims want you to believe something else. For example, the Quran tells you that you can divorce prepubescent little girls. Muslims will tell you that that's not what it means, but that's what Allah is saying.
Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah.
So did I tell you before you spoke to them? Did I mention these 3 categories to you?
Yeah, you did.
And is it in your Quran?
Yeah, but
Is it in your Quran?
I
Yes or no?
can't see any of that writing in my book here. Sorry.
How do you not see
So
that?
but hang on, Saeed, hang on a second. Sis,
Yeah.
what you need to focus on is the verse in the Quran that we just read does mention girls that have not reached the years of menstruation, correct?
Does it say there or not?
And those who have not menstruated yet.
Yeah.
Who are the ones that haven't
Okay,
menstruated?
that's what we're talking about. The girls that have not menstruated yet. Now, again, I'll show you another explanation. This is Jalalain. There's another giant scholar. He confirms this. He says that the waiting period shall be 3 months, and those who have not yet menstruated because of their young age.
Exactly. So who are the
So
ones
again,
that haven't
Ibn Kathir, another giant scholar, confirms about those who are young and have not reached the years of menstruation. Now, I'm going to show you something. It's sometimes very difficult for people to accept because it is harsh. Islam Q&A. Have you ever heard of this site? Oh, hang on a second. So for Muslims that are seeking knowledge or are questioning Islam, they go to this site. It's a Muslim site. The question on this particular is the ruling on marrying young girls. So you see there is a question already about young girls. Now watch what they say. As again, it's referring to Surah 65:4. They're referring to this, but I want you to listen carefully, and please, this is going to be something you've never heard before. This is Islam. right? Listen carefully. It says, the fact that it is permissible to marry a girl, a young girl, does not mean that it is permissible to have intercourse with her. Rather, see, this is the way it gets weird. Rather, that should not be done until she is able for it. For that reason, the Prophet delayed the consummation of his marriage to Aisha. Why? She wasn't able for it. Al-Nawawi said, with regards to the wedding party of a young married girl, at the time of consummating of the marriage, if the husband and the guardian of the girl agree upon something that will not cause harm to the young girl, then that may be done. If they disagree, then Ahmad and Ubayd say that, now pay attention to this, once a girl reaches the age of 9, then the marriage may be consummated even without her consent. Now we know what that means. If you sleep with someone without their consent, we know what it's called. Over here, it's saying it's not a problem. But that does not apply in the case of who is younger, so younger than 9. Malik, Al-Shafi, and Abu Hanifa said, the marriage may be consummated
1 second, sorry,
when...
James.
Yes, sir?
Sorry, guys. So what she's saying here is, she's saying that we don't read the verses before.
So we can read all the verses she wants.
So let's just go back
finish
to
this. Let's just
Okay,
finish
yeah,
this, and I'll go back to whatever verse she wants me to go to.
Okay, go.
Okay. So it says, now listen carefully. It says, but that not may be done in the case of one who is younger. That's younger than 9. Malik, Shafi, and Abu Hanifa said that the marriage may be consummated when the girl is able for intercourse. So it's not age, it's ability. Can she take a grown man in her? Then yes. Which varies from one girl to another, so no age limit can be set. This is the correct view. There is nothing in the hadith of Aisha to set an age limit or to forbid that in the case of a girl who is able for it before the age of 9. So they're actually saying if she's able to take it before 9, then it's not a problem. Now let's go back to the verse. You said 65, you want to read a verse before? You'll go at 3. Let's see what 3 says. How far do you want to go? We can start at 1 if you want. I'll go all the way to 1.
So we go back to the 65:4.
Yeah, I'm in Quran again, so I can start at 65:1.
We'll go 65:3. Yeah.
You can start at 1 if she wants. Is she okay with that, or she wants 3?
She's just reading. 1 second.
James.
Yes.
Can I ask something?
Let her just read for a second.
Okay.
You asking me or her?
I just wanted to see the truth and see the truth in the Arabic.
Yeah, can I just speak to her for 2 seconds? Sis, I showed you the verse. You saw it yourself, right? I just want to know, what do you think about that verse? If it's true, let's just say that you didn't know it existed. Now you see it. And if it's true, would you accept it? Would you just be okay with it? Or is that something that's a deal breaker?
I don't agree with it, but the thing is, like, I read verses before this differently, and you guys, like, in your way of talking, take one thing and just pinpoint it, like, and you don't, like, I don't know how to explain it really correctly.
James Habibi, when you get done speaking with her, I brought up Claudia. This is the sister, Sahih brother, who they were talking about earlier. I wanted her to give her testimony and her take on this particular issue, because sister, I don't know if you can still hear us. The one that we're talking to through the other brother.
She left.
She also. Right.
Yeah.
She also left, and it was one of the reasons was specifically because of this. And being that she's also a woman, I want you to hear it from another woman. I don't want you to just think that it's just men and that we're misinterpreting it or that we're trying to push something on you. I want you to listen to another woman explain the severity of this situation to her. Claudia, can you hear us, sister?
Yes, I can. Hello.
Okay. Can you
Hello.
just kind of like briefly explain like your take on the situation to the other sister?
Yes, I can. Sister, first of all, I can, hear like in the struggle, the pain in you. The thing is, becoming Muslim, it definitely, there's a whole lot of guilt and fear that comes with challenging anything, because challenging anything is so bad in Islam. To question the Prophet is so unallowed, is so unthinkable, is so punish-worthy that your mind just doesn't go there. And, I don't want, to add to any more pressure. I think sometimes you have to just hear what you've heard, and then you have to go and sit with it in silence, like of your own heart, and think about these things. Like, seriously, sister, I mean, in what world? I mean, there was never a prophet that slept with a sister, that slept with a child. It just never happened. You couldn't imagine, a God of love, choosing that as a prophet. How could it be? But the thing is, I don't want to add to any more stress that you might be feeling at the moment. At the end of the day, the biggest advice that I can give you is to pray, is to speak to God, with your heart, and ask Him to help give you peace with reaching, a decision that I know that you might, you're worried about or feel guilty about. I mean, look, I'm a nobody. I don't know if anything I'm saying, is helping or hindering. The last thing I want to do is hinder or do any, to get in the way of anything that, that the brothers have been saying, because they're so knowledgeable. So I don't want to do anything wrong. But if there is anything I could do, even if you wanted to message me afterwards, I'd be more than happy to talk to you. But I don't know if there's anything else that you want me to say, brothers.
I think we can all conclude that God would never order people to sleep with little kids. Right? This is a teaching from the devil himself.
No.
God cares about children. He cares about His kids.
Yes, I mean, there's in the Bible, that Jesus called the little children onto Him, and He made it as an example, and I'm paraphrasing, but He said, woe to anyone who would do harm to these little ones.
This one that contradicts this one, what it means, like that's what the things say.
So what is this then?
Say that again. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said, sis.
Oh no, I'm talking
So
to
she's
myself.
reading on the bottom of the book, right? Al-Talaq, divorce.
Yeah.
And then it says, see rulings in 228 to 233. A wife should not be divorced except after the completion. Oh yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's basically telling you that if there's no penetration, then there's no need for a waiting period. And now this verse is telling you that yes, there's a waiting period, because these prepubescent little girls, before they've reached their menstruation, have been penetrated and now have to wait the 3 months just in case they fall pregnant before they remarry. Now, this isn't the only verse that talks about this, because there's a reason for the revelation. You must remember, for every verse in the Quran, there's a reason for the verse. There's a reason why this verse came. The reason is that if you go to a guy called Wahidi, the explanation was because a man, he asked, what about these young children? What about these little children that we are sleeping with or marrying? Are they, what's happening with them? Is there a waiting period for them or not? Allah comes to the rescue and he says, because Islam is a religion for man, by man, just to satisfy men, he says, yes, there is a ruling, and these women, these little girls, prepubescent, have the same ruling as those that are menopause and those that are pregnant.
This is why we have law books. Khomeini says that you can use the hand of an infant to fondle yourself, and we have law books that teach if you rip your child bride from one hole to the next, what to do with her. We have scholars saying give her some money. Scholars saying she's got to stay your wife, stuff like that. So we're not making this up, guys.
I wanted to say this, Travis or James. There are a few people requesting, and I know that the brother and the sister here, they don't really know too much about it. This is probably the first time they've heard it, and they don't know what a rebuttal against it would be. Would you guys like to bring somebody up to hear what somebody more learned would say about it?
Yeah. But before we do that, I just want to know. The thing is, we need to let it first settle with her. She said she's had enough, doesn't want to talk about it. I just want to know, why don't you want to talk about it, sis? Because again, if something doesn't taste nice, you spit it out, right? So obviously this verse doesn't taste nice. So what you want to do now is get yourself a different meal. You want to walk away from this verse, and I agree with you, because the verse is clear that you are allowed to penetrate prepubescent girls, and as long as you remain a Muslim, you are condoning it. You are saying, yes, because I'm a Muslim, I'm okay with this. Because we are not okay with this, we are not Muslim. We've left and walked away from this because it goes against the moral fibers of our body. Our body screams, no way, when we read stuff like this. When we read verses where a man can beat his wife, our body screams, no way. Don't want this. Walk away from it. That's why we can't be Muslim.
James, Khomeini is giant in Shia Islam. And this link has been taken down, but you can still find it through the Wayback Machine, and you can still find it in his book today. Now, it's talking about problem number 12. It says intercourse with the girl is not allowed unless she reaches the age of 9. That sounds good, but it's not. This is still a kid. If a person has had intercourse with a girl before she reached the age of 9 and he didn't rip her from one hole to the next, he shall not be subject to any punishment. This is teaching if you did go ahead and sleep with the girl under 9, this is Shia. If you didn't rip her, you can keep doing it.
Before we continue, guys, let's just see what they want to do. Sahi, what does she want to do? Does she want to continue? Is it enough? She's more than welcome to come back. And I know, guys, it takes time. This is now the first time that you heard it. It's shocking. It needs to settle. You need to sit down by yourself at some point and ask yourself, am I willing to accept this, live with this, and continue with this? And when I have children, to share this beautiful knowledge onto my children so that they can follow this religion that teaches that their children can be married and penetrated before they even reach menstruation. Because remember, the Quran is for all time. So the Quran doesn't only talk about back then. The ruling in the Quran is for all times, meaning from then to today and forward. So you have to accept this as something that you're going to live with going forward, and your children are going to be Muslim with this going forward. Sorry, Amin.
James, yeah, there was somebody in the chat saying that they were going to report the live.
I booted him.
I don't know if okay, good.
Yep, I got rid of him. Now, this is their idea.
Guys, I just want you guys to notice the panic. Like, bro, you don't have to report the live. Just come up and have a conversation. None of us are aggressive. None of us are being rude. We're just reading. But imagine having to report the live for something that your book says. Like, this is crazy.
Why don't they report their book?
Yeah, report your prophet to the police.
Then why don't you phone someone and say this book is going against common decency, common sense? But before we go on, before we bring anyone up, Sahi, is there anything that she wants to add before we move on?
There is a 3 months waiting period.
It's saying it
For
right
sex.
there.
No.
We know, no, not for sexes. So let me explain that again. the waiting period, the idda, it's called idda, the waiting period is from the time you divorce man number 1 and marry man number
I have
2.
to go to sleep.
Say again?
Yeah, she's saying she wants to go to sleep. I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
what to do.
It's okay.
And I pray Jesus appears to you while you're sleeping. So, you guys, let's explain the idda. The idda is the pregnancy test, because they didn't have pregnancy tests back then. After you consummate the marriage, you have to wait 3 months to make sure she's not pregnant, so that fathers are not confused. The idda is after intercourse only.
Yeah, okay, if we're all human, but what God allows you to marry a child and divorce her, it is, then you are the ones that are not ministrated yet.
They're little kids.
Exactly. I don't know what to
This
do.
is the Sahih, this is the reaction you normally get. This is normal. This is a normal reaction, because this is hard to accept that the religion you chose is telling you it's okay to be a PDF.
Yeah.
You're just digging your whole verse to get out of my life. That's what you're doing.
No, I'm not.
No, we want you to see the truth that Jesus would never tell you to penetrate little kids. There's a better example to follow. It's Jesus Christ.
He knows there's a better example.
I'm not forcing. I'm just telling her, search for yourself.
But that's why I'm ask her this question. Last
You know
question.
nothing.
Ask her this question. Last one.
Yeah.
If this
Okay,
is true, can she still be a Muslim?
If this is true, can you still be a Muslim?
Pardon?
If this is true, can you still be a Muslim?
I'll be a Muslim, yes, but I do not believe that
But why would you?
kids
Okay.
of this age
But
are
why would you
being-
become a Christian if I married you?
Because I love Allah. That's why.
Oh well.
So wait, so she's saying that she loves you more than
More.
she loves Allah.
Or little
Exactly.
kids.
In that case.
Like, care for little kids here at least, that this is not a teaching from God.
You have to.
So
you
watch
have
this
to
now.
accept that.
Sahi, I'm going to drop you. I want you guys to stay on the live, because I'll bring up Muslims, and I want her to watch how the Muslims will try to defend this.
So, James, really quick, you pay attention, because I'm going to open up law books that teach what to do with your little 8-year-old or 5-year-old or 6-year-old that you've consummated and destroyed her vajayjay. Watch what the scholars say. Watch how these Muslims start deflecting and throwing the Quran and their scholars under the bus.
Yeah, Travis. So she's trying to say, like, she's saying that, like, we trying to interpret it in a different way. Like, it's reading clear there. How can you put context into this?
That's because she doesn't want to accept it.
Well, we got the scholars too, so they all agree with us.
Well, this is why the topic is so
Yes,
relevant today. The topic is the Quran clear? When the Quran says clearly that those that have not yet menstruated, well, how can we misinterpret that? How do we misinterpret knowing the group of people we spoke about? God bless you, sis. Thank you. Why would we talk about the verse when the verse is clear about the 3 groups of women and the 1 group that have not yet reached the years of menstruation?
And then she has to understand too, Brother James, the actual history of what they were dealing with during the time. If you look at the historical nature of Islam, you see that this was real conversations that they had, and these men seriously had this confusion in regards to their little child brides. This is not made up. This is Islamic history that prevails throughout the Quran, that child marriage is allowed, and you will be accepting that as a woman.
So
Anyway, dude, just let her. It's gonna. As I said, it takes time, but hopefully, the seed lands.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't, just marry her.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Look, hey, look, let me tell you something, because look, I ain't get
kidding, man.
to insert because I'm at work, but you never work. Don't you ever marry somebody who is not of the same faith as you. And if she says she's gonna, and sorry if it hurts your feelings, but if she says she's gonna leave Islam for you, that is especially a woman you do not want to marry right now, because she has not truly within her heart made a decision, right? And you're gonna deal with that in your marriage. If you choose to do that, you're gonna have an issue fighting Islam and Christianity in your household and causing grief for your kids in between you together. So don't do that, John.
What you do first is love
Good
her.
point, Banker.
Yeah,
Good point.
love her through this and into the arms of Jesus first. But so we got.
So hang on, let's let Sahi go before we start with the new guy. Sahi, just follow in the chats, right?
So because she's Shia, she became Shia. So I don't think she believes in like the tafsir and the
It's even worse because Shia believe that you can take a little baby, newborn, stick it between the thighs and use it for tying. Shia is not better at all. Shia says that you can use the baby's hand to shake yourself off. Yeah. It's not at all better. Nothing is better. The whole thing comes from the same Quran. The same Quran tells you you can penetrate prepubescent girls, babies, children, sister.
Yeah.
So
this is what we're saying. Forget everything else. Focus on the Quran. The Quran is clear.
This is a Shia source. They're asking scholars questions. Is marriage with breastfeeding a girl permitted? If so, can I derive sexual pleasure from her, such as kissing and other forms that do not harm her except penetration? Yes, if the marriage itself meets all the conditions, she becomes his wife from all aspects. It allows for the husband to look at her, to touch her, to kiss her. It's not permissible to have intercourse with her until she's capable of doing so. So there's also another question that's asked. What is the ruling on thighing a child? Quick, I need an answer. Thank you. If what is meant by the question is a man thighing his child bride, then this is permissible, as we have mentioned in Fatwa 56312. Scholars are being like, yo, you can use your child bride in all aspects. Don't put it in until it fits.
This is your Shia scholars.
These are Shia sources.
So when she says thighing, I'll make it disgusting. It means putting your willy between the thighs of a newborn and using that as a means to relieve yourself. This is what we're talking about in Islam. Told you, Shia is even worse than Sunni. In fact, they're both equally disgusting. But this is what we're saying. Yeah. She chose this religion, and now she has to live with that for the rest of her life, unless she chooses the light of the world. Unless she comes to Christ, where salvation is available. There is no salvation in Islam. The Quran tells you in Surah 355 that the only salvation comes to the Christians. In Surah 1971, it says that every single Muslim will go to hell, and only the righteous will then be taken out. Salvation is only through Christ, nobody else. Muhammad said, I don't know where I'm going. How can you follow me? Don't ask me. You on your own, man.
Exactly. That's all I'm about to say. How can you follow someone that says that he doubts, basically? And that the Quran says, if you doubt, go to the people of the scripture before. You want to follow that?
Right. Jesus was leading us to a higher path, right? To not harm children and into the arms of a loving God. Muhammad was leading people to the playgrounds and beds of little kids.
You do it every day.
Anyway, guys, before we continue, let Sahih drop so that we can talk to Aki and Knowledge. Hopefully, sister, with Sahih there, hopefully one day, you'll see the truth and you know what love is, peace is, and true God is. Because again, it's outside of the Islam.
Yeah, so no one's forcing her. I just want her to seek the truth. That's it.
That's it. That's what we say every single day, man. We ask them every single day to be honest with themselves, to open the Quran. We tell them, open the Quran and read it, because then they'll see the truth. The Quran tells you can be penetrated as a child. The Quran tells you as a wife you can be beaten, not because you did something wrong, but because the husband fears. He may fear that you did something wrong. Not only that.
35:4 in Arabic it says strike them, but then in the English part it says gently. So what's the meaning of strike them?
Anything in the brackets is added and lies. Go back to the Arabic. The Arabic makes it clear. The Arabic tells you that you can strike her.
Can someone show her like where Allah only understands you in Arabic, or I don't know which verses and stuff?
Funny you say that. I was just talking about that today, because that was being my topic. That the Quran is only for those that speak Arabic.
Yeah,
that was my whole topic. It's a clear book, but only if you understand Arabic.
But what's wild is the Muslim translators insert with things like, beat her gently. They
make it make sense.
Yeah. Exactly. If it's such a clear Quran, why don't you just use the word that it says? It says literally to strike them.
There's no context to it. It's right there. Like There's no context.
The Quran allows the Muslims to invade our territory and while we're tied up next door to enjoy our wives. Chapter 4, verse 24 of the Quran. No God would issue such commands. This is a barbarous animal.
Can a Muslim talk?
Aki, hold on just a second.
Yeah, we're nearly done. We're nearly done. And then you can speak as much as you want. Okay, Ms. Sahib, if we don't want to force her, she's got the news now. She knows the truth now. Now you know the truth, sis. You know it. You can't say you didn't know. From now on, from this second on, you continue your life in Islam. You need to continue remembering. If a man comes to your house with a prepubescent little girl and says, this is my wife, you can't be disgusted. You can't be upset. You must high-five him and say, MashaAllah, Allah is so generous, He gave you a prepubescent little child. Isn't that lovely?
So before Aki starts, really quick, there's one of two approaches that's taken on these lives. One is going to be to justify it and say that Muhammad's actions were normal and the Quran allows this because it was normal back then, or they start this thing called the bus, which they hit all their scholars with. So there's usually one or two approaches that are taken here, and you're going to witness it here in just a second when we talk to Aki. And he will put an expiration date on the Quran in chapter 65, verse 4. He will say this verse is expired. So there's one or two approaches.
Sahih, we don't go on too much unless she wants to engage. But guys, please come back again after you've done this. Don't push this topic with her, because it'll push her further into the hole. Remember, I keep saying this. It's like someone in a cave.
She doesn't have to speak, so she can just listen.
No, it's okay. But listen to this. This is careful. This is something important. When you're in a cave and there's a bright light that's being shone on you, because you're not used to the light, the first thing you do is shut your eyes tighter and go further back in the cave. Now that she's seen this is like the brightest light now that's just, like a deer caught in the headlights. She sees it. She's going to close her eyes and pull further back. And the more you shine the light on her and you keep talking about it, she's going to go further back in the cave. Now she needs to adjust her eyes to that light. And when she finally sees what we showed her, when her eyes adjust and she sees it, that's when changes will start. That's when she will understand what we just showed her. Because right now, her eyes are shut tight. She's gone further back in the cave. And this is a normal reaction to truth. You know what Jesus said? Who's the light of the world? When that light shines on you, you get scared, man, because the truth is exposed to you.
Amen.
So just leave her now. She knows it. Come back again in a day or 2 or 3 or 4, whatever, and then ask her to read, ask her to go to imams, ask them to explain, and ask her to ask them this question: is it permissible?
The imams will lie to her. They will lie to her.
I know that, bro. This is the problem with Islam. Lying is okay.
Lying is allowed.
The book doesn't lie for it. Doesn't lie for itself. Like, it's telling you exactly everything in. Yeah.
But listen, we're not going to go on and on and on. Take care. God bless. I want to talk to Knowledge and Aki.
God bless everyone. Thanks, guys.
Okay, take care.
Take care, friend.
God bless.